And while she's doing that, everyone help us welcome Michelle Holden.
All right, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and our new DTMs. This is going to be a lot of fun. You know, as Toastmasters, we talk all the time about effective mentorship. But you know what we never really do? We never tunnel into the deep details of mentorship. The power of it is unbelievable. But let's get into what it is. How do we do it? How do we get a mentor? Why would it help us? My name is Michelle Holden. As they just introduced me, I'm an executive coach, and I talk about mentoring and coaching all the time. Let's just see why there we go. What we're going to do today, I always like to know, I'm one of those people that almost reads the end of the book before the beginning. I want to know what we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about what is mentorship? Why is mentorship important? How can you find a mentor? How can you be a successful mentee? You see, if I'm the mentor and I'm teaching, you're the mentee. This is going to become important as we move along. I heard somebody a couple of weeks ago, was almost hilarious, say, I am so tired of hearing Toastmasters talk about leadership. Why are they talking about that? We're a speaking club. Newsflash for anyone who doesn't know this, our tagline is where leaders are made. Yes, we all work on our communication skills and they're super important, but so are our leadership skills. And in case you didn't know this, no one's following a leader who can't communicate. These things go hand in hand. There are three things I know about every single person on this call. And you can say, well, Michelle, you don't know me personally, so I bet you don't know three things about me. I bet I do. You can correct me at the end if I'm wrong. Here are three things I know about everybody on this call. I know you have had a mentor at some point in your life, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. I know that most of you do not have a mentor today, sadly. I'll tell you why I know that. And then lastly, I'm going to encourage every one of you and tell you that you should have a mentor. I told you I knew something about each of you. Why do I know you've had a mentor? Because I don't believe in the stork. I know you didn't get dropped off somewhere on someone's doorstep. That means you had a mother, a father, a grandparent, a guardian of some type who helped you learn to brush your hair, brush your teeth, and tie your shoes. I know that you've had mentors because otherwise you wouldn't be on this Zoom call. You wouldn't know how to get in. I want to thank Nick for helping me more often than not with troubleshooting issues with my computer. But you had somebody who helped you along the way to get where you are today. Before we go too deeply, there's two words that get used very often interchangeably as if they're the same thing. That's mentorship and coaching. They're really not the same thing. Actually, you'll know this if you go through Pathways. Pathways will tell you exactly what I'm about to say. Mentorship and coaching have something in common. They're both trying to help you become a better version of yourself and to move forward so that you can have a full, fulfilling, wonderful life. Let me get to what the differences are. A mentor lets the mentee run the show. In other words, if I need help with something, I'm the mentee. I'm going to find a mentor and I'm going to tell them what I need. I run the show. I run the agenda. The relationships can last a long time. In fact, some people end up calling their mentors lifelong friends. It can be your personal life, your professional life. They bleed together. They're fluid. You end up talking about a lot of different things. It's voluntary. There's no pay. And it's a really nice relationship. I'm going to talk to you a little bit later about how to pick a really good mentor for yourself. And then there's coaching. Here's where coaching is different. First of all, it's a shorter relationship and the coach runs the show. Have you ever watched a football game on TV on a Sunday? The coach is yelling at people, telling them what to do. He's talking behind a board. He's talking in his earpiece. He's listening to things. He's telling people what to do. The coach runs the show. And it's usually very task driven. And that's usually when the relationship ends. If any of you had a coach in high school, maybe, who helped you with a sport, or it could have even been with a speaking club or something, you'll say, here's what my problem is. The coach says, don't worry about it. I know what your problem is. Every time you go to hit that ball, Michelle, you're not connecting with it. Get your elbow up, bend your knees. They're giving you coaching advice for a specific task. Often the coach is paid. In my case, I am a professional coach. I get paid for that. It's not voluntary. And usually there's very structured relationship with clear objectives. Not that you can't have clear objectives with a mentor, but with a coach, What do you want me for? How long is this going to be? Once that task has been completed, a lot of times the relationship dissolves. If we're going to talk about mentoring, I know what everyone is thinking on this call. What's in it for me with them? Why would I do this? Why would I be a mentee? Why would I be a mentor? Well, I wrote down a few reasons here. Is there anybody that you know that does not want to have more confidence? I'm not talking about being cocky. That's different. That's dislikable by everybody. I'm talking about true self-confidence where you feel really comfortable in your own skin. I don't know anyone who's saying no to that offer. Mentoring will help you. One of the reasons why it helps you is the next box over, increased self-awareness. You see, as a person, we can at best be subjective about ourselves. We certainly can't be objective. We need somebody else for that. Somebody else has to tell us what they see that we can improve or what we do really well and we should continue. When it comes to the business world, some of us on this call are still in the business world, some are not. But as we heard today, in the last couple of days, people are certainly not wasting their time. They're doing many wonderful things if they have already retired. But leadership and development, if you want to develop as a person and you want to increase your skill level and you want to help other people, mentoring will certainly help you with that. And I want to talk to you in a minute about some statistics that'll show you how valuable mentoring has become to corporate America. Strong communication skills. We all knew that one. This last one is tricky. I know in Toastmasters, we talk a lot about feedback. That's not new or novel to anyone. But I give a 1 to 2 hour talk to people who are not in Toastmasters about the art and the power of both giving and getting feedback. You see, a lot of times we can take it in Toastmasters. We just can't take it in our regular life outside of Toastmasters. It becomes something that crushes us. It makes us feel not confident. It makes us feel, gosh, everything I ever felt about myself that was insecure is bringing it up in that little line of feedback. The person has no idea they crushed you. But if they did crush you, I teach you certain magic questions to ask in order for you to gain back control and not lose that confidence. Feedback is really important. When I say to you, I know that most people on this call need a mentor or should have a mentor or maybe want one, but they don't have one. I say that because once we hit 17, 18, 19, we graduate from high school or college, a lot of us after graduation stop getting mentored and we stop getting coached. We might pick it up later on down the line. We might not. In fact, it's interesting because sometimes if you run into someone you haven't seen for a while and they say, "What's up? What's going on? How are you?" And you say, "Good, I have a mentor or a coach." You might see a puzzled look here and the person might say, "What's going on? I didn't know you were having a problem." There's no problem. I'm in growth mindset. I'm in the middle of growing and stretching. I want someone to help me stretch further. That was my New Year's resolution. What about you? This is how we should be answering. That's a confident answer, not acting like your mentor or your coach is your doctor and you have a problem. Here's why we stop. Because we become independent and we do that thing called adulting. We start paying our own bills. We start making our own food. We start deciding what time we're going to come in at night. This is adulting and it's a really good thing. It's a necessary thing. We all get to it, hopefully. But what happens really is that you've been taking mentoring advice and coaching advice from so many people for so long. I'm done. Peace out. I'm out of here. I really don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to make a few of my own decisions. And that's great. But somewhere along the line after that, you have to realize we're not an island. We weren't plunked down here to survive by ourselves. We were meant to have people that help us. I thought I would pick 4 very different industries and pick famous people that all of us probably know. I'm guessing you know at least one of the people up here or 2 of the people, but famous mentor-mentee relationships, people who certainly by anyone's stretch of the imagination are famous, well-established, and you think, really? You have a mentor? How about Colin Powell? It was his dad for him. That was his mentor. Yves Saint Laurent, even if you're not in the fashion industry, I'm sure you know the name. Christian Dior was Yves Saint Laurent's mentor. And Yves Saint Laurent was very intimidated by Christian Dior. I used to work for Christian Dior, not himself, but his design house in New York. Oprah Winfrey, Maya Angelou was her mentor. One of my favorite quotes from Maya Angelou is, when people show you who they are, believe them. And the last one, of course, everyone knows, Mark Zuckerberg, and his mentor was Steve Jobs. If you're wondering about whether you should have a mentor, I think if these people can have one, so can you. All right, let's get started with why. These are smart questions to ask. Why does mentorship matter? Because life is long and life is hard. That's why. Because we need someone sometimes to say, am I right here? I'm stuck. How do I move forward? Can you help me? What are you seeing that I'm not seeing? This is a smart relationship. How do I find a mentor? There are so many naysayers out there. It's hilarious. Of course, if you're in Toastmasters, you can just ask for one and one will be provided either in your club or out of your club. But sometimes I'll say to somebody, what about somebody in your family? Do you have a mentor, what I call a trusted advisor, someone you trust in your family? No, I come from a very dysfunctional family. Oy vey, you should see my family. Okay, family's not going to work. What about a friend? Do you have a friend or a business associate? No, I can't stand them all. And you sit here and you think, all right, this is going to be like pulling teeth. I know this kind of person where nothing's going to work for them. What about church? Do you have any kind of religious organ? No. Here's what I'm going to tell you. If you're one of the naysayers here who's about to tell me all the reasons why you can't find a mentor, 2 words, look up. That guy's not going to let you down. That's all I'm going to say on that one. What can a mentor do for me? They can stretch you. They can tell you the truth. They can see things in you that sometimes you can't see in yourself. I'm really big when I talk to people about getting to self-knowledge. I'm not talking about what kind of pizza you like and whether you like pepperoni on it or pineapple. I'm talking about really deep self-knowledge where you start like a domino to figure a lot of things out about yourself. Wow, that's why that personality type annoys me. Wow, that's why I've never been able to do XYZ. Start to get deep self-knowledge. You will get that from a mentor if you've picked the right mentor. Do corporations believe in mentorship? Oh, funny you should ask. We're going to get to some statistics in just a minute. Can I use a mentor for both personal and professional life? Or does it always have to be about business or Toastmasters? No, you can use a mentor for anything that you need a mentor for. I'm going to show you in just a minute how to pick a really good mentor for you, not for me, for you. The intrinsic value of mentorship, if we're going to get right down to it, I know there's some engineers on the call and you guys like us to filter through and cut through the fluff and just get to the bottom line. Why is this important to me? Because you're going to gain immediate perspective. You're going to have the curtain pulled back on some things that maybe somebody in your family who's really close to you has not told you, that a mentor, hopefully in a gentle, kind way, will maybe point out that have been boulders on the path to your success. We're going to get beyond results. We're going straight for value added. I want to give you some statistics. It's funny, I'm not really a math person, but my God, do I love statistics. I love a good statistic. For anyone who likes them, I hope you appreciate the next couple because I found them rather staggering. All right. Interesting stats and facts. I pulled these from Harvard Business Review. I figured no one was going to bust on me for pulling Harvard, but also Agility Public Relations Solutions. I don't know if anyone knows that group, but no matter where I looked, and I looked at many sources, not just these 2, I really found very similar numbers. They didn't vary very much. Millennials in 3 short years will comprise 75% of our workforce. Now, if you're not working right now and you're listening to this call, you're thinking, I don't care. I'm not working anymore. Really? You don't care because they're going to be making our decisions on what we wear, what we eat, where we go, what trends are being set, what we're watching on TV, what we're watching in movies, our politics. Millennials matter a lot. And by the way, so did Gen Z. Gen Z just entered the workforce for the first time. They're about 25 or 26 years old. So for the first time ever, we have 4 or 5 generations. We still have some baby boomers. We have Gen X. We have millennials or Gen Y. We have Gen Z. We have several groups of people working together and everyone matters. Everyone has some really cool, specific skill sets they're associated with, and some that they don't have. And that's why if we all work together and do that loving thing that we were talking about earlier, we can really help each other. But do you know what millennials and Gen Z across the board all want from every corporation they work for, besides meaningful work, which is also a biggie? They want their boss to help them navigate their path. They want straight feedback. They want someone to coach them. In fact, Gen Z goes far to say that they actually would like someone to hold their hand for a while. I'll hold your hand. Here's what I love. The attention span of Gen Z, 8 seconds. You better talk fast. Or like me, sort of energetic and animated. Millennials, you've got a whopping 12 seconds to grab their attention. If you're doing anything boring, anything slow, forget it. You lost them. You're on the platform, they're on the train. But they want employers to help them develop their skills and to teach them and help them manage their personal productivity. I happen to know that all of the people on this call right now are phenomenal. I'd take any one of you as my mentor any day. If you're sitting there and you weren't sure what your stretch goals were going to be, I just told you right here that 75% of the workplace, let's make it 85 and throw Gen Z in there with the millennials, needs your help. The skills you've learned from Toastmasters, they need mentors. If you want to be a mentor, I just gave you a wide open field. Here's some facts that we can't ignore. 71% of Fortune 500 companies have some kind of mentor program. But what's really funny is the other statistic that's diagonal to it. Only 37% of the professionals use it. What? Why would only 37% use it if 71% of companies thought it was important? I'll tell you why. The communication isn't going on in-house to let you know, we don't think you're a problem if you have a mentor. 97% of the people who were mentored said it was very valuable. I don't know who the other 3% are, but 97% it was super valuable. And then 89% turned around and mentored someone else. I think that's a really high number. And it really speaks to what they got out of it and wanting to turn around and help someone else. All right, I kept promising you that I would help you find a mentor. Maybe you're in a club and you think, don't get me wrong, I like these people, but I don't really see anyone being my mentor. That's fine. We can find one somewhere else for you. And by the way, in another club. I'm mentoring different people that aren't even in my club. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to find someone you deeply respect. I'm not following anyone that I don't respect. If I don't respect you morally, your values, maybe something that you've achieved, it's not going to be a match for me. There's no point in asking you to mentor me if our values are this part. So you have a little bit of work to do as the mentee. You have to figure out who you actually want to mentor you. The second thing is you should look and say, I need someone who has XYZ skill, because that's what I don't have. I need that skill. Don't be afraid to say I lack something. We all lack something. I lack many things. And what I do is I humbly tell somebody, I'm really bad at this. Is there any way that you would mentor, coach, or teach me in this thing? Really? Okay, is there anything I can do for you? But if there's something you're not good at, own it and go get some help. Don't sit there hoping the world doesn't find out, because guess what? They probably already know. It also has to be someone that you get along with. You've got to have chemistry with the person. I'm not talking about romantic chemistry. I'm talking about you have to click on some level. If you don't click, you're going to walk away and think, oh, how do I get out of next week's session? I don't want to be with this person. They're irritating me, or they're talking, but I'm not understanding them. You've got to have chemistry. So what does mentorship look like? As the mentee, now I'm talking to you, you're the mentee who needs a mentor. There are 4 steps you can take to implement and create a really successful relationship. Let's unpack them. The first one is, I want you to set some expectations. If I know I'm going to Florida or Maine or California, I don't get dressed with my bag, stand at my front door and hope for the best that it's going to work out. No, I make some plans. I get out a map, I make a plane reservation, I make a hotel reservation. I know that I'm leaving on the 6th. When I say set expectations, why don't you tell the person, I just had someone do this with me last week, Michelle, I'd like to meet with you. Great, no problem. What are you hoping to achieve? We talked about what the person wanted to achieve. And then they said to me, when can we meet? That's a fabulous question. Why don't you shoot me 3 times during the week that work for you, and I will try and make one of them work. We'll talk for 45 minutes once a week. And as we need, we can back off. That's setting expectations. The other thing I need you to do, please listen carefully to this. I need you to commit to growth. There's a little word, it's called metanoia. It means changing your mind. I need you to challenge yourself to change something. You've got to commit to growth. There are only two reasons why people change anything in life. They're either currently in pain or they perceive pain coming in the future. That's the only reason why people change anything. Otherwise, people like comfy. But I'm going to tell you, seek discomfort. If you keep doing the same thing, you can't grow. You're standing still. You have to commit to growth. You also need to delineate your needs, define what you actually need and want. That can take a little bit of time. Sometimes it's not as easy as you think. You have to say, for instance, I want more money. Sure, all of us do. Go play the lottery. I don't think it's that you want more money. What do you really want? Well, I want to work someplace where I make more money. Okay, keep talking. A lot of times what it comes down to is I don't like the company that I'm at because I don't like the work I do, or I don't find it meaningful, or I don't fit in. I want to go to some place that's a cultural match for me, where I feel like I can make some great strides, and I hope I make more money. But it's very interesting because a lot of times people will take another job and actually take a little bit of a pay hit if they find all the other things that they need. Start to ask yourself smart questions. What do I actually need? What do I actually want? What doesn't matter that much? Because until you can answer those questions, you'll take any job that's offering you 5 cents more. That's not really what you want, I think. All right. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes if you have to. No one's watching. They're probably watching me. Imagine your future self. What does that look like? Use the relationship that you have acquired with this mentor to develop some real self-knowledge. I don't know if everybody on this call got to hear Nicole. Nicole and I haven't seen each other in person in years, but we met at Toastmasters, I don't know, 12 years ago. And she really impressed me because Nicole knows how to get to helping people be their future self. I think if you can't imagine yourself, it's really hard to go after your goals. Some people are so embarrassed to tell people what's really on their mind. That could be me right now, but I'm not going to be embarrassed. I'm going to tell you. When we close our eyes, we have an image of ourselves. And this doesn't sound very humble to say, but I love people. And I picture myself with a microphone in my hand, talking to a whole bunch of people, not because I want them to look at me or listen to me. In fact, I'm not really comfortable with that, if I'm being honest. But what I want is I want to change lives. I want you to know that your life matters. And the word can't is 100% not in my vocabulary. Can't or won't. Wait a second. You want that? Here are the 4 steps we can do to get there. Let's go. Are you ready? I want you to imagine your future self. I want you to put on your big boy pants, or girls, put on yours. And I want you to start saying, what has to happen for me to get there? Because now we might get to some other self-knowledge, which is I'm lazy, I'm tired, I don't have energy. That would take more than I'm willing to do. And that's an okay answer, by the way. If you start to imagine where you want to be, but the work that's involved is not something you're willing to do, that's called being authentic and honest with yourself. I really don't want to do that. Okay. But then stop complaining and stop talking to every single person in your life who is going to listen to you. Because what they're doing behind your back is this. Wow. Okay. They're rolling their eyes. How much more do I need to listen to this conversation where this person is going to keep telling me what their dreams are, but they never go after them? If there's a future you that you want, one of the Globetrotters said this one time. He was doing something really difficult. And he said to the other Globetrotter, it's just hard work, baby. And really, it's such a profound line, because the truth is, most things in life are doable. It's just hard work. Will you do the hard work? Someone else said to me, Michelle, I'm very goal-oriented. How will I know when I succeeded? Well, I'm going to tell you, when you've accomplished the task that you set out to do, you, I suppose, will have succeeded. But it's not in the achievement of a goal that you find happiness. Rather, it's in the pursuit of that goal. The journey is the present. You think it's painful, but your journey is actually the present to yourself. All that hard work. And sometimes you look back on it and say, oh, that was so tough. Right now, I'm trying to get my DTM and I'm going, oh my gosh, that was so hard. But you know what? I wanted to do the work and the journey was fun. Did you ever talk to little kids? They come in from, maybe there was a big snow and they make a snowman. They accomplished something. They finished making the snowman. Yay, you made the snowman. They came in, they asked you for a scarf, a hat, buttons. They were so excited. And when you say to a child, well, you're all done. You did that. I guess you need never make another snowman again. The person looks at you like they're crazy because they're probably 8 years old. Are you kidding? I'm going out tomorrow. I'm going to make a whole family. I may make an igloo for them to live in. You see, the world is their oyster and they don't look with limitations. Unfortunately, as we get older and we become adults, we start to see our world as a world of scarcity. There's only so much, got to guard mine. I can only do so much. I've already accomplished that. Bust that thinking wide open. I want you to start saying, all things are possible. When I say all things are possible, if you're lousy in math, are you going to be an accountant? No, don't take me that literally. But if there's something that's in your wheelhouse and you're really capable of doing it, and the only thing holding you back is hard work, stop thinking small thoughts. If you haven't thought something that scares the bejeebers out of you, I'm going to tell you that you're not thinking big enough. All right, this is you. This is where we were, the left side of the screen, before spring conference started. I want you to take a big fat leap. This guy actually doesn't look like he's going to make it. I really kind of want to push those two pieces together, but you get the idea. I want you to jump to the other side. And I want you to embrace what your future could be. A lot of times if people tell you, I just have to tell you, I'm being your friend, you can't do that. What they're doing is they're telling you their limitations, not yours. Stop listening to people who don't know how to dream big. Stop listening to people who aren't willing to do the hard work. Stop listening to people who are lazy and don't have any energy. Start hanging out with people like the ones that have been on this call for the last couple of days who have been really charging me up. And by the way, I don't drink coffee. A lot of people say, do you get all that energy from drinking coffee? No, I don't. That's just me. But it can be you too. Start charging yourself up. Instead of getting up in the morning and going, hitting the snooze alarm, I think I can go back to bed for 10 minutes. I wish I had off today. Start bouncing out of bed. If you're dragging your rear end, it means you really are not liking something about your life. Let's get to the self-knowledge. Let's figure out what it is. But look at this picture. We're about to end here. I want you to look at this and say, it's not January 1st. It's not December 31st, New Year's Eve, but what could I do? What have I not been thinking about? It's time for me to take the leap. Will you take a leap for yourself? That's what I'm leaving you with today. Mr. Toastmaster, back to you.